does make.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
You can tell it's summertime. Greetings. Good evening. How the hell are you? Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and that much more. Fast Eddie Lane, live in the vault of the Full Range Entertainment Studios, being joined by tag team partners Mark Mabo Bowman.
I saw an anorexic Spider-Man with the hugest web slinger frickin' yesterday. It was disturbing.
At least he did say frickin'. I'd like to welcome in tag team partner the Wicked Nemesis.
This ain't the day, and tomorrow ain't looking too good either.
And in studio, long time no talk to, Andy Hudson. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Fast Eddie? And I'll just agree with the sentiments of the Wicked Nemesis.
There you go. Yeah, you had to call him by his shoot name. You had to say the Wicked Nemesis. I mean, really, come on, man.
Wick's my hero, man. Don't you know that?
It has been a hell of a week and then some. And I had a chance to, by the way, before I kick things off, two things I want to go ahead and say right off the bat. This past Monday night, had a chance to sit in with Nick Anthony over on PW 24/7. We've been simulcasting Midnight Wrestling from this past Monday night over on BR 24/7. So that one is in rotation actually on both stations. As previously stated, we are working crossovers with PW247radio.com. And invitations definitely out. I know, Wicked, you're sitting in on two shows right now, aren't you?
No, just one.
Just one? Still Wednesday night? 9 Eastern? 9 Central.
To be determined is the only one that I do. I do so much with this, with Beyond Ringside and with To Be Determined that I don't have time to do any of the other shows. As much as they want me to do stuff, I can't. You know, I'll show up for the think tanks and that's it.
Yeah. I know it gets crazy with the schedules. I've had like I said, Nick and I, go ahead.
That's no offense to them, but I'm doing events every Friday and every Saturday, and I have kids. So I mean, you know, now I was on this past Monday on Wrestling with Pop Culture on Georgia Wrestling Now. I actually got to do what the dumbass that actually let me talk. When John kept trying to let me talk, and they had some other guy that they interviewed that was a complete loser, and I finally got 5 minutes to talk about what I needed to.
Well, if you're going to bring up the guy out of Florida that thinks he's a little bit more important than he really is, then we're not even going to worry about that. Because
I'm not his name. And I told him, too, I said, I appreciate you. Because, you know, he put up that where he said he confronted me, where he tried to pull his little Andy Kaufman
set the trap.
So, yeah, so forget him. And I love it because it has 205 views and 3 thumbs down and 1 thumbs up. So thanks to the fans that went out there and was like, yeah, you know, we'll listen to it because Wicked's associated. We'll give you a thumb down because you're an ass.
That's one of the nicer things that I actually refer to the guy as. And like I said, I'm not even going to bother mentioning its name because it had about the same personality as a flat car tire on a Matchbox car. However, you know, it has been one hell of a week in more ways than one, coming off the pay-per-view from last week. Impact. Oh, speaking of Impact, matter of fact, I caught the tweet from Mabo, which is one thing that really made me want to go back and watch. Because, I don't do spoilers if I can possibly avoid it. and noting the fact that Joey Ryan was the person in the gut check this week. Very nice, very impressive. That's actually a renewal of a West Coast rivalry from NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, because he and A-Double have gone at it in the NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood area, as well as about 2 or 3 other areas. Mabel, let me get your impressions on that match.
I thought it was a pretty good match. See, here's the thing with Joey Ryan. He's got a look. For those of you who caught the match on Impact, and it's evolved over the years. Always had that, most of the time had that trademark mustache.
Yep.
And I believe it would crack me up because I actually got the reference Taz made. But he said he looked like I believe it was a Vivid director.
Yeah.
And those of us with penises knows what that is.
Don't you know? Don't you know?
Yeah.
I saw the AVNs this year. Yeah.
But and speaking of Vivid, and I'll report on this later, I did see the first hour of the Avengers porn movie.
We'll
discuss that later. Stop laughing, seriously, hush. So, but Eddie, as you know, Wicked, as you know, both being in the business, and Andy, you and I fans, having a look, other than you got to have a strong skill set. You got to be able to. There's all these important factors. Joey Ryan definitely has that distinctive look. Taz said he looks like a Vivid director. Go look it up, kids. And that's one thing, and I really hope he does get signed, quote unquote. I don't know what that'll mean for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla out in Florida or California, because for those who don't know, he is what is known as one of the PWG6.
Yep.
Which were 6 guys who got together and formed Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, which, just a well of talent that came out of there. I believe in the SoCal area. Not quite sure on that, but when you say Pro Wrestling Guerrilla or PWG, that's one of the top 10, if not top 5, not counting WWE and TNA, independent wrestling companies in America.
Right.
America. Heck, I'd probably even say America. Period. Both North and South, because I don't think Guatemala has anything.
Spot shows.
But, so it kind of sucked to see him leave from there. But I think he would. It was a great match. You could definitely tell that he and Austin Aries, this is pretty much same old song and dance for them. They didn't phone it in by any means,
no.
But you could definitely tell they were comfortable working with each other. And I honestly think that Joey Ryan was actually, he was trending. I don't know if he made it worldwide. I know he made it at least, United States, North America wide. Because,
right.
And he deserves it. I don't think Alex Silva should have got signed last month, because Alex Silva looks like, hundreds of other these kids that come in, they slap on a pair of tights, pair of boots, maybe has a nice tribal tattoo, whatever. That was sarcasm, by the way. They're in shape, but they have no charisma, they have no look. There's, it's like they're just copied out and getting ready to be fed into the WWE developmental machine.
Right.
Whereas Joey Ryan has a distinctive look. He has charisma. He knows how to interact with the crowd. Definitely has, the and I'm going to make up a word here because I heard words made up all day yesterday. He has the veteranmanship of, being in the business for, quite a long time. So if he doesn't get signed, it's really going to be a shame. I mean, he did all those years in California. He's even done stuff, when WWE needs, I guess, a body, so to speak, just to feed to some, random guy that they're pushing, and then
like Brodus Clay.
Well, or and it's not going to be successful, right?
Tensite.
So like I said, great match. If you get a chance, YouTube it, check it out. If it's on your DVR, you'll probably see clips of it next week. I thought it was a good match.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Andy Hudson, real quick.
Yeah, this was as far as I could remember, this was my first look at Joey Ryan. And when they put him in there with Austin Aries, I'm like, okay, either this guy's getting thrown to the wolves or this guy knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
And after watching that match and just watching the way Joey Ryan was portraying his character, and like Maybo, Taz making the vivid reference just about had me rolling off the couch laughing. But Joey Ryan, to me, I mean, he's got the skills, he's got the look, and to me, he looked like the way he portrays his character, he would look actually right. It would look good for his character to either try to come to the ring maybe in an old Adrian Street robe or vest or something, or even, dare I say it, an old mid-80s Ric Flair feathery boa robe or whatever. But I like the character, and as far as his work in the ring, if they don't sign him, and I'll agree with Maybo too on Alex Silva last month, they signed Silva but don't sign Joey Ryan, somebody needs to be fired quickly.
Well, before I turn it to Wicked Nemesis, I'm going to go ahead and say this. There may be some circumstances where they're bringing in people from different areas under no intention of signing per se, but just to get that person a little bit more exposure, because a gut check circumstance like this, okay, fine, I'll make this reference. If Wicked Nemesis and I were to team up and go do play-by-play in color, now, Wicked may be so inclined as to stay on to do either one of those two roles, whereas I'm perfectly happy where I am with my schedule. I mean, I'd be willing to come and do ring announcing or possibly do a spot show here and there, but as far as making the full-time commitment, unless it's just, as far as the contract goes, the sky's part, the angels sing, all of the above. And
you haven't worked with WWE before TNA, have you?
I haven't even
I'm sorry.
I'm still not thinking about WWE. Once again, I don't want to do 300 days a year.
Reference to, what? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I know, but there are times where they find somebody with talent that they know will help build the gut check segment. Hey, they're bringing this guy in. They got Joey Ryan coming in from the West Coast. Oh my God, PWG6. Yes, everything, all of the above. And even if he doesn't sign, Joey Ryan just got national television exposure, and they got one hell of a match on television out of the deal.
Very
Wicked,
true.
Agree or disagree?
Well, right off the bat, I don't think they had any intention of signing Joey. But there's certain points in time to where it's undeniable what's going on. And, you said veteranship, Maybo. I'll take it better. What it is, Joey Ryan is one of those rare things called a ring general.
Yes.
Okay? Joey Ryan has been in this business enough that he can teach guys something, and I think that's what it was. And him and Austin having such a great feud over in California, personally, I believe this may have been like a favor, like, hey, this guy needs to go, because right now, or this past week, that's all anybody was talking about from TNA. Nobody was talking about the fact that your women's tag team champions got pinned, and one of them's a guy, Eric Young. Big ups to Eric Young. And in the very beginning, with Hogan actually making sense at the beginning of Impact was amazing. I was amazed because he didn't. I mean, he acted like he was going to give away everything. And then I guess he realized what he was doing, and he slowly started backtracking. And then he ended up making it, pretty decent. This was the best edition Impact in months and months and months, and probably a year. And it wasn't Hogan saturated. I mean, there was Hogan throughout it.
Yeah.
But Joey Ryan, here's the thing. You talk about looks. There's not many people out there anymore that do gimmicks. I was on Davey Richards, one of the best in the world. But last night I was on the show with him at Peach State Wrestling Alliance. You had taken Davey Richards, and you could switch him out with Kyle Matthews, Kyle O'Reilly, and all these people, and they're the exact same person. They're the exact same thing. They're short, stocky guys that go out there and kick the crap out of people and can wrestle. But there's no gimmicks. You guys know one of the it factor, the intangible that everybody looks for, that everybody always talks about, is charisma. Joey Ryan has charisma, so does Austin Aries. Hell, Austin Aries is a gimmick. Just like the Wicked Nemesis, it's a gimmick. There's not many out there. And until people can step up from that shadow and stop trying to be a badass and stop trying to be, well, I'm going to be straight from Japan. You've never been to Japan, you stupid idiot, and you're never going to make it to Japan.
Right.
So And I hope that Joey gets signed. I don't think they had any intention, but I think with such a great match, and he did make it worldwide for about 5 minutes, maybe. I mean, it was really like literally by the time I had seen that he was trending worldwide, people were saying, "Oh, he got worldwide." By the time I had got on there, you could literally see him slip off. But I know through about 2.5, 3 hours, he was trending worldwide in North America. In the United States. I apologize, in the United States. But he did make it worldwide at the very, very bottom. So big ups to Joey, and maybe this will help his promotion out in California. It damn sure helped him, and I believe it helped TNA because you have a guy that they brought from the outside, a guy that they brought in, and then everybody's like, wow, he was really good.
Let me jump in for a second because we talk about gimmicks, and there are two things in this world that are really kind of hard to get over because stereotyping comes into play so hard. One is the country boy hillbilly gimmick. I'm not going to say that Hillbilly Jim and Cousin Elmer ruined it. Elmer, E-L-M-E-R. I'm still blowed up from last night. I've been on such an emotional roller coaster coming out of last night's show. We'll talk about that later, though. My voice is gone. That's how good it was. The short version is, I'm not going to say that Hillbilly Jim and Cousin Elmer ruined it for anybody else who wanted to do the country boy gimmick, because I work with a promotion right now that's doing like an Amos Moses style bib overall wearing hard Homer Simpson headed hayseed style character who's good in the ring. Now, if you present it properly, that kind of character can get over in certain geographic regions. It's going to go in the Southeast. Will it go in the Northeast? Not quite sure. Will it go in California? Don't know. Oklahoma? More than likely. Because you have that identification factor. And it also comes down to the fact of whether or not that person can sell that gimmick. Personality in something of that ilk means everything. The gimmick.
Yeah, but if somebody's given a gimmick, they usually tend to not want to go 100%. But if they make the gimmick, that's when you get 100% because they're like, hey, this is me. I made this. I think that's another problem is people can't come up with anything on their own. And then when you're given something, you're like, I'm not going to do this. I don't feel like doing this in front of 20 people. There's only 20 people tonight. Who cares? Those 20 people paid tickets. They bought those tickets. They paid for them.
Here's the thing. Yeah, are you getting paid? Yes, the hell you are. Guess what? Gimmick rolls.
And there's certain guys, like you could take the Undertaker and drop the Undertaker in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, whenever, and he would get over. Same thing with Stone Cold. Same thing with The Rock. Triple H, I don't think Triple H would. I think there's certain people that wouldn't get over in certain decades and in certain generations. And it's the same thing with gimmick. I mean, with gimmicks, and not only with gimmicks, but also with wrestlers in general. Like you could put Dean Malenko, who has absolutely no charisma.
Right.
I mean, Mr. Charisma himself, Dean Malenko. But Malenko's mindset and psychology and his wrestling skill was such that he could have gotten over. And I actually blame Dean Malenko for everything that happened with these young guys, with these short, stocky guys that are athletic because they all want to be Dean Malenko. Because they're like, well, Malenko, and we all know Malenko is the sweetheart of the internet, and it would have been Chris Benoit had he not killed his entire family. that whole thing, and Chris Benoit really wanted to be Malenko. We all know that, and Dynamite Kid, of course. But Dynamite actually had charisma. That's what separated Dynamite away from that. Dynamite was a guy that, and Brian Pillman had charisma. But then you have some of these guys that have come along, as Mabel said, they're cookie cutter image. But and I'm not comparing Davey Richards and Kyle Matthews or anything like that to Alex Silva. God forbid, Alex Silva couldn't even lick their boots. Okay.
Mabel, go ahead.
Nothing. Oh, y'all know I have a history with him, so he can kiss my ass. He knows where to find me.
Wait, which one does?
Alex Silva.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I think I scared Davey off last night because, I did something Friday night, and it was brought up, and I'm sure he's like, who is this guy? This guy's crazy. But, we'll save that for another time. But I'm sorry, Davey, if I offended you, but you guys know how I am. I'm the wicked nemesis all the time. Woohoo!
Now that is something that I never hear. That is something that I very rarely ever hear out of you. And that's a shoot. And I'm not going either way on this. I'm calling it straight down the middle, like I do.
I'm an extension of Enoch. That's the thing. It's an extension of the real life me.
No, I was saying I never hear you apologize for a damn thing. And you just issued a public apology to Davey Richards.
Oh yeah, because I like Davey. Davey's a hell of a guy. Davey can go. But last night, was in the moment, and everybody, when you have every worker in the back, with the exception of the Ring of Honor guys that were there, up your ass, asking, what's going on? What happened? What really happened? And CJ Awesome, CJ Awesome, man, that kid. Anybody out there want to book somebody, book CJ Awesome and Ron Stalker. That would be a heck of a tag team. But there's certain guys in the business, and and CJ's like, well, what happened then? He's like the guy, and I was trying to be respectful, because it was bad enough that the entire event was around the Merchants of Death, and then it was just, that's why I wanted to apologize, because I said a few things. I'm very boisterous and very I've never cussed on the mic, except in Fort Benning when I dropped the F-bomb, of course, once. But backstage, I'm a foul-mouthed son of a
gun,
boo-boo. So, but that's why I want to apologize for that. But Mabel, you are 100% correct with the cookie cutter image. I mean, that's what it is. You are exactly right. It's like they have all this laid out, and they're like, well, we're going to take this, this, and this. And then when they're done with that guy, what did they do? They're like, well, we're going to take this. Well, let's give him blue eyes. Last time he had brown. Let's give him a red shirt instead of a green shirt.
Now, therein lies a question that I want to lay out real quick. We're going 5 minutes before the top of the hour. You're listening to Beyond Ringside, Fast Eddie Lane, Andy Hudson, Mark Bowman, Wicked Nemesis. There was one other type that I would say is actually hard to really get over in the public eye, and it takes the person itself to get that gimmick over, but I want to shift gears on this. Wicked, you make the statement that Undertaker could have gotten over in any time frame, virtually. I would like to open the question up for the next 4 minutes for all of us to hit. If it was anybody other than Mark Calloway in the role of The Undertaker, could it have gotten over the same way? Yes, no, why? Mabo, you're up.
I don't know, because that's like saying, could actor X have made a better Indiana Jones?
Okay.
So you can't really say, can we plug this guy into this formula?
Then let me put a redirect on that. Case point scenario: Buddy Landell, Paul Lee out of the Georgia market, both very good in the role of the Nature Boy gimmick. But however, everybody still uses the phrase Ric Flair knockoff, Ric Flair wannabe. They don't say Nature Boy Buddy Landell. They don't say Nature Boy Paul Lee without making that direct close association to Ric Flair. Now, I'll reset the question. You want to try it again?
Still, once again,
Okay.
it's not so much. It's not like the Sin Cara situation where you could take the gimmick, slap it on another guy, try to pass him off. Does he do it better? He was a little bit, but not not by much. It's not like that. I mean, there's certain gimmicks you just like. Are you saying if Glenn Jacobs would have came first, if they would have slapped the Undertaker gimmick on him?
There you go.
Or if they would have slapped the Undertaker gimmick on Kevin Nash? You know what I'm saying? It's just take big tall guy around that era, make him look like creepy zombie funeral worker.
Or maybe on a Sunday morning.
No, maybe he doesn't work up on Sunday mornings. Unless it's to play DC Universe.
There you go.
But, so, yeah, I mean, to me, to ask that question, I can't really say, because that's, it's not like saying, can you put, mustard on a peanut butter, substitute mustard for jelly on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Will it taste any better? Well, that we know it won't.
It depends on your taste buds, right? Okay.
It depends on if you're on crack.
There you go. I'll go with that. Andy Hudson.
Well, to me, it's only a few select people in the business could pull off like the characters they're doing today back in, say the 60s and the 70s. I mean, we've all seen it. Flair is just an enigma all his own. He's pulled it off for over 4 decades. Hogan has done it for like 3 decades. But, like, Eddie, your reference to, Mark and the Undertaker role. I think the Undertaker role would have worked in the 60s, but in the same sense, I think in the 70s, the American Badass character would have went over better in the 70s than the Undertaker gimmick would have.
Okay.
But it's just, it's like Mabo said too, there's just you can't really make good comparisons if nobody else has done the gimmick. Glenn Jacob, to me, the only 2 other guys that I've ever seen could pull off the Undertaker gimmick, one of them actually did it.
Brian Lee.
Brian Lee is one and Glenn Jacobs is the other.
Right.
Because they have the same, not exact build, not exact height, not exact, 100% exact ring movement as Mark Calloway, but they are both close enough to have been able to pull it off. But in the same sense, once again, there's just a select few. Could anybody else pull off Ric Flair? No. I never liked the guy. Could anybody else have pulled off Hulk Hogan? No. It's,
Can Hulk Hogan pull off Superstar Billy Graham?
Or Jesse Ventura, take your pick.
There you go.
But there's
15 seconds.
Just in my honest opinion, there's not only the real life people, but the actual characters of today could have went over well in the 60s and 70s.
Tell you what, Wicked, do me a favor. I'll give you a minute to go ahead and think of it. We are hard on the top of the hour break, and we're going to go ahead and take that top of the hour break right now and come back in 5 right here on Beyond Ringside.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This is Awesome Austin Creed, the smartest man in this industry called pro wrestling, the valedictorian of this business. You are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
8. I deliver your Sunday paper every week.
7. We work on the same floor.
1 in 8 Americans is struggling with hunger.
6. Our kids walk to school together every day,
including millions of children and seniors.
5. We chat in the elevator at work sometimes.
4. I'm your cashier at the grocery store.
Who's the 1 in 8 in your life that needs help? You can make a difference through Feeding America at feedingamerica.org/1 in 8. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Most days go by without a whole lot of surprises. But what if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life, as you know it, has completely turned on its head? Would you be prepared? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul Ellering, and you're locked into Beyond the Ringside.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, I've had a drink problem, and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Listen up, this is the NWA North American Heavyweight Champion, the Temptation Sean Tempers, and right now, you are locked in with Beyond Ringside.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep, there was a bunny who had one big ear and another big ear. They looped-a-looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Ben Masters, locking it down with Beyond Ringside. Don't miss it. Be there.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is GCW's senior official Bernie Kowanowitz, and you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. You know, it's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. I'm the one that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
This is Bad Brad Armstrong, part of the famous Armstrong family of professional wrestling, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Oh, thank you.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Charlie!
Hey, did you see that play last night?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they still lost.
Sure.
You know, when I was playing, what we tried to...
You played in the street.
I played in the service. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the kid, he should have...
Yeah, Hey, you okay?
I don't...
Someone call 911!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke. But you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
This is Dan the B7, the only Triple Crown champion in the UFC history, and you're listening to Beyond Ringside. You better pay attention, otherwise I know where you live.
And he does, too.
Okay.
Welcome back into Beyond Ringside, going 6 minutes after the top of the hour. Fast Eddie Lane welcoming back in the Wicked Nemesis.
And that, my friends, as the story goes, is why Shane Knowles is a loser.
No. I'll clarify this in a minute. Welcoming back in Mark Mabo Bowman.
My penis is so polite it stands up so ladies can sit down.
Andy Hudson, welcome in.
I gotta follow this, but never mind.
You always get stuck in the hardest position, so to speak, especially when you're around Mabo.
Oh, God, I'm too tired for this.
Beyond Ringside 24/7 is up and running, featuring the best of Midnight Wrestling from PW24 Radio, PW247radio.com. Also, Beyond Ringside will be carried on PW247radio.com in the very near future. Actually, that may start tonight. You never know what's going to happen. Also, great crossover agreement between us and GCW Radio, which airs on Sunday nights, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, or Daylight Time, take your pick. I'll still stay standard, scrappy doodle dandy. All right, damn it. Okay.
I heard. Hey, Eddie, you know what I heard about the guy that hosts GCW over there?
What'd you hear?
I don't know.
Trust me, he doesn't either. And actually, I don't have to make the explanation. Actually, I will make the explanation.
But you don't have to, so.
I'm going to do it anyway. Because Shane Knowles, the director of the Peach State Wrestling Alliance, was originally scheduled to join us at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. We had a situation in play come up, and I tried to get in touch with him a little while ago to see if he might be able to come on right now. And it's like I said, and knowing the fact of how crazy our industries are, everything from pro wrestling to real life to radio, I didn't know if Shane would be able to come on or not. But, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to welcome in the executive director of the Peach State Wrestling Alliance, Shane Knowles. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, Fast Eddie Lane. How are you?
It's been a crazy week. It really has, and I hope yours has been good too.
Chaotic, to say the least, if not less.
Look, anytime you're dealing with characters such as the Wicked Nemesis up close and personal like you and I both do, it's going to get chaotic.
He is becoming the bane of my existence, I'll say that.
You just made his millennium. And you're going to have him as well as...
Me, I'm hard of hearing. I'm sensitive to loud noises.
Loud noises? You read the press clippings, didn't you? Andy, do me a favor. Take a look at that stack on top of that other computer box. You'll see what the gimmick... Right, go to your left. I mean, you're right. You're right. Yeah, there. Yes. Now, first off, for those who have not had a chance to, in the Eastern Alabama and actually Central and East Alabama, as well as the West and Central Georgia areas, Peach State Wrestling Alliance has been absolutely tearing it up in more ways than one. PWA has been running shows over in the eastern section of Alabama, but of course they are a mainstay in West Georgia, over at the Carrollton VFW Fairgrounds. Had the opportunity to catch my first PWA show a few weeks back, a couple of months back. Mark Bowman, Paulie Wells all came along for the ride. Wicked Nemesis, of course, hard at work, managing to start at least 2 riots that night. But in the meantime, you've had a lot of stuff going on since the last time we were over there. Shane, get us caught up to date, if you would, please.
I'm sorry, just been distracted. Nemesis is on this program, am I correct?
He's on here right now.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you there, Shane?
Yes, I just wonder if the Nemesis can hear me right now, because I got a little message I want to send to him.
I'm sensitive to loud noises.
Well, perhaps you can set one more voice inside your head, sir. You see, I don't know what you guys have already discussed, but last night the Wicked Nemesis tried to assert control over the Peach State Wrestling Alliance. He tried to insert himself basically in my position. It was all just a ruse, a nice little hoax. You had your fun for the better part of 2.5 hours, but when I came in the ring and cleaned house on all you guys run me off the road, you leave me for dead, but you didn't finish the job. You were mere inches away from, taking over. Your whole little coup of overthrowing me. And now, Nemesis, you're not really tickled to death about being inside a 16-foot high steel cage this upcoming Saturday. Personally, I don't care what your personal feelings are towards the match. You're going to be in there, just like a caged animal like the rest of us. The old NWA, WCW format, hey, you alluded to going to Battle Bowl. That was an old WCW concept. War Games, the brainchild of the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, we're bringing it to PWA for one night only, 5-on-5. War Games this Saturday night, the main event of the 4th anniversary event of Peach State Wrestling Alliance.
Now, doors are going to open, from what I understand, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I have to remember, transposed time zones. Start time for the event itself is going to be 7:30 p.m. Do me a favor, Shane, let us know who all's going to be in the War Games in the War Games match.
And the War Games match will be the MOD, the Merchants of Death, headlined by a man whose name I shall not speak of. I'll go ahead and say it, the Wicked Nemesis.
Ooh, you used to shoot name too.
Jones, J-Rod, CJ Awesome, and the Unlucky Charm, Chris Knox. Basically, these 5 men have been running roughshod on Peach State over the course of the last 3 months, and been wanting to take control of my company. I guess they saw a gold mine when they first got there and wanted a little piece of the action. On my team will be myself. I'll step into the ring for the first time in 9 months, along with a gentleman you're familiar with, Eddie, Action Mike Jackson. as well as one of the better tag teams on the independent circuit, the Exotic Ones, composed of Simon Sermon and Tony Too Much. And our fifth partner will be a man who has not been in Peach State for over 9 months. He was the very first Heritage Champion. His name, the Ultimate Dragon.
That is a name that a lot of people have not heard for a while. The Ultimate Dragon has kind of like gone into, I wouldn't say hiding, but I would definitely say seclusion. Because I've actually known Ultimate Dragon for a number of years, worked a number of shows with him. And for him to not be in the public eye right now is actually kind of a mystery to me. Do you have any idea about what his whereabouts have been?
Well, he and I had our own little personal issues all the way through the calendar year last year. In November, I defeated him in the Loser Leagues PWA. But you're right. Since he left Peach State in November of 2011, I haven't seen his name anywhere on the independent circuit. Much. I mean, maybe just a sprinkling here and there near Carbon Hill, Alabama, but certainly not as prominent as it once was. So, yeah, it's kind of a mystery as to where the Ultimate Dragon has been, but he has been contacted. He's coming in for one night only this Saturday, June 2nd.
Mark Bowman, come on in with Shane Knowles.
No, Shane, you know, I like you. You're a decent fella. Got nothing against you. But
thank you, sir.
Do you and take this as no slight or slight, if you will. I don't really care. I'm about to go eat a sandwich. Do you really think you can accomplish anything in a War Games match against the Merchants of Death when on your team you have 2 fruit booties, an old fart, and a dude under a mask that you can't trust?
You know, I would say, you know, first impressions, yeah, you would think that we wouldn't exactly be the most cohesive unit. Honestly, I don't know what to expect June 2nd when all of us get in the ring, but I know we've all got to be on the same page, because that's one thing I will give the MOD is they all know their role. They know exactly where they're going to be. They know exactly their mission. As the Wicked Nemesis says, people hate them because they do what they say. They know each position. They know their role, and for us, that may be something we're not up to the task. But I mean, we're just going to have to wing it on the fly. And you know, the goal at hand is to make sure that the Peach State Wrestling Alliance stays where it needs to be, and that's under my control. In the interest of fairness for the fans, who the Wicked Nemesis could care less about.
But Shane, I mean, bro, seriously, I look at you. You're in shape. You look like you might be able to, you know, maybe possibly if you have like a bat or a chair, take one guy off of the MOD. But really, you're bringing these guys to the fight. That's pointless. Then you're going to turn around and you're going to put yourself in the cage with a man who, the reason why he doesn't get in the ring is because he's that damn lethal in Wicked Nemesis. Or, I mean, I don't know what goes on over there in Georgia. I don't know if you're eating the peaches that have been sprayed with too much pesticide. Seriously, dude, why? Or what do you hope to accomplish? Because you know you're going to get. Is there anything on the line? Like, is there like, does the losers have to buy the winners breakfast at Waffle House
or Denny's?
Or, you know,
actually more on the line than that, sir. This is basically, you know, our issues have just gotten to where it's kind of like the Old West. The town's not big enough for the both of us. The loser of War Games will be gone from Peach State for the rest of the year. So if it is me and my group, we'll be gone. If it's Nemesis, he can run the promotion as he sees fit through December 31st.
Good.
So you're comfortable that not only putting your livelihood on the line in a company that you invested so much in, you're okay with buying 2 plane tickets back to San Francisco for Ding and Dong. You're all right with shipping Old Man Jackson back to the nursing home, and having what's his name, the insane luchador, Ultimate Fart Knocker, whatever. You're okay with having him deported back to Canada or wherever he came from? You're okay with that? You're okay with sacrificing your livelihood and the livelihood of these 4 other gentlemen?
Canada?
Sounds like you're on the Wicked Nemesis payroll, but I won't get into that. Sounds like
no, sir. See, it's not about payrolls or drinking the Kool-Aid. It's about understanding and seeing where the dominant force lies. It's called using your head. And obviously in this instance, like I said, you're a wonderful businessman. You've built this company. Obviously, in this instance, you're not using your head. And I'm trying to protect you because, like I said, Shane, I like you. I don't want to see you I know how, you guys get sometimes if you don't have a lot to do, things go crazy. Next thing you know, you're on a cooking show with Martha Stewart making a meatloaf. I don't know.
Bobby Flay.
Point is, Shane, I'm trying to look out for your best interest. Screw those other 4. I like you, so please think about what you're doing.
The perception may be that Mike Jackson is a banged-up, past his prime veteran. What I see is a Hall of Famer, someone that has made his name throughout this business over the course of the last 39 years. Exotic ones, you call them Fruit Loops, fruit cakes. I mean, I really don't care when they go out to a bar what section of the bar they may pursue their love interest for the night. But I know once they lace up the boots, they are a dominant tag team across the board. And also the Ultimate Dragon, I can tell you from having been in there firsthand, that is the meanest, the dirtiest, and the nastiest guy that's ever came across Peach State. And when you're dealing with a force, a movement that is the MOD, you need someone that can fight fire with fire, per se. And who better than the Ultimate Dragon, the very first Heritage Champion in the company's history. I don't personally like him. He doesn't like me, but he doesn't like Nemesis. Dragon doesn't like anyone, but he loves money. And for the right price, he's coming in for one night.
And money can buy allegiances. You're listening to Beyond Ringside Live, 19 minutes after the top of the hour. We are on live with Shane Knowles, the Executive Director of the Peach State Wrestling Alliance, getting ready for their 4th anniversary show this coming Saturday night, June the 2nd in Carrollton, Georgia. It's going to be at the Carrollton VFW Fairgrounds, located 1625 Bankhead Highway, once again in Carrollton. Advance tickets for this event are available. Shane, how much are those advance tickets?
Advance tickets for Ringside are only $10, same as Battle Bowl. I don't care if you're going to get a pay-per-view quality event. You will not be charged an extra dime. $10 for Ringside, $8 general admission.
And this, as far as buying tickets at the door, how much are they going to be?
Tickets at the door will be $10 for general admission. We won't have any Ringside left. I already sold over half of Ringside out today. I've had a lot of calls, a lot of emails, a lot of interest in what happened. And I do want to say that War Games may be what closes the show. It may change the entire direction of the company going forward, but let's don't sell the undercard short. I think there's a little something there for everybody. The ladies match, someone who Nemesis is very familiar with, Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora taking on Aisha Sunshine. They feuded in many promotions here in the Southeast, and they'll be in Peach State for the very first time making their debut. Also, a battle of the giants, as Bill the Butcher will take on the giant hillbilly Mike Reed. Both these men weighing in, tipping the scales at over 340 pounds apiece. So you've got the giants, you've got the ladies. Also, you'll have a midget match, as Little Papa Pump will take on Little Fabio. And then one of the best cruiserweights that I've seen over the course of the last 6 months, Stitch Cypher, will take on Antonio Garza for the Georgia Junior Heavyweight title. So the undercard is a nice, kind of a mixed bag, so to speak, a little variety.
Now, let me jump in on this one because the fact that Stitch Cypher, a number of fans in Alabama have seen him work in a couple of different promotions, as well as the Latin sensation Antonio Garza, originally from Mexico City, Mexico. Once again, a number of fans have seen him. I believe he's worked in ACW. I've worked with him in Global Championship Wrestling. He has worked all across the Eastern Seaboard and actually across the country. I believe it was Stitch Cypher who is actually the innovator of Mabo's favorite move, which would be the flying teabag, if my notes were correct, in memory serves from Battle Bowl era. But from that vantage point, you've got both of these gentlemen are ready to take it to the air in a heartbeat. Both gentlemen, great high flyers, and at the same time, solid ground attack. So this match in and of itself is going to have something for everyone. Stitch Cypher, great technical knowledge. Antonio Garza, tested veteran, great technical knowledge. Like I said, the strength advantage may go to Garza. The experience factor goes to Garza. However, I'm going to go ahead and use the term youthful enthusiasm, which is really a misleading term that a lot of people get pinned on in their first 5 years in the industry. But Cypher has that excitement to him about the business. He loves this business. You can talk to him and find that out. And these two guys, in and of itself, this match is honestly going to be worth the price of admission. You bring up the midget match. I've worked with Little Papa Pump before. I've not had an opportunity to see Little Fabio in action. The Battle of the Giants, Bill the Butcher, the giant hillbilly Mike Reed. I've done a little bit of homework on these two. Now, this is something that a lot of people are going to have to consider. A War Games match, in and of itself, is violence personified. It is everything that it can be. in that environment. The Battle of the Giants. I'm not going to utilize anybody else's catchphrase when I say this, but I'm just going to go ahead and turn it around and say, folks, that building's going to move. And it's going to be from impact. Hard-hitting impact. And then you've got the ladies' match. Calm Like a Bomb Pandora. A number of folks have seen her work all across the South and up the Eastern Seaboard. Aisha Sunshine stays primarily in the Southeastern U.S. These two ladies are well known for a first blood match that has exceeded the original match itself, because it's not just legend, it's truth, it's fact. For those who saw this match, you saw two women go at it in an unbridled level of brutality just to see who can make the other one bleed. And now Shane Knowles is bringing this match to the Peach State Wrestling Alliance. Nobody is going to be safe. This lineup in and of itself, stellar, off the chart. Now, I know I've already made plans to be there and hoping that tag team partners from BR are definitely going to be there. And then you come down to the War Games match itself, Shane, for control of PWA for 6 months. This has got to be a crazy lineup on both sides. I'm going to say this with all due respect. You are definitely an underdog going into this match. Mike Jackson, 39 years running, 254-time Alabama State Junior Heavyweight Champion. The Exotic Ones, seriously, one of the most solid tag teams around. And you add to the mix the Ultimate Dragon. And I think it's actually Western Canada, Maybo. Setting this entire card up, you have got a knockdown, drag-out lineup that is going to be, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the old school phrase it pays, an old school night of hard-hitting pro wrestling action in PWA on Saturday night, June 2nd. Andy Hudson, come on in with Shane Knowles.
I'm just pretty much at a loss right now, Eddie, although I will say that I myself may actually jump on the bandwagon to Carrollton, Georgia, to witness my first live ever War Games. And, of course, my hero Wicked being in it, that might just be worth the drive all in itself.
Shane looks like you might just have a contingent from beyond ringside. Now, trust me, I'll keep an eye on Maybo and Andy, and the cage will keep them at bay as well, so they can't physically interject and back up Wicked Nemesis.
Yeah, that'll keep them at bay, so to speak. Yeah, within arm's length, just not being able to interfere. But I wanted to say too, you mentioned that we are huge underdogs in this match, even though I signed this. The realization is setting in, as I said, they're a cohesive unit, and basically we're other than the Exotic Ones who work together all the time. Mike Jackson had his own personal grudge with the Ultimate Dragon for many years, as well as myself. So, what we lack in experience, I just hope we make up for in heart and determination, because there's no quit in any of the five of us, and that's basically what War Games will come down to. Is someone must submit in that ring before that match is to a conclusion. I do want to mention too, not on the poster, but just signed today, another young talent, very nice. I hope you're familiar with this gentleman. His name is John Schuyler, has just been added to the anniversary event for this upcoming Saturday.
Very nice. Loaded question. Would it be and we didn't really get a chance to talk about this off air, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but is there a possibility we can come over and do interviews either before or after the show?
Absolutely, be my guest. Would
love the opportunity. Probably not as chaotic as it was last time. I've already got a game plan in place, so everything should be smooth. And if I was an excessive headache last night, because I know how many headaches you had to deal with that night. Oh, damn. However, the War Games match, folks, for those who have not had a chance to see something like this live, 10 men, 2 teams of 5. Now, I will ask, are you doing the coin toss backstage before the show, or are you going to do it live at the cage?
Actually going to do it live at the cage to determine which team. Of course, one representative from each team will start out. Yes, the coin toss will determine which team gets the 2-on-1 advantage. People will come in every 3 minutes thereafter. So didn't want to do that backstage. Wanted to do this in front of the fans so they would know there's no funny business going on where Nemesis couldn't turn the coin in his direction. Whichever team gains the advantage. That is crucial to this match, because you're talking 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3, 5-on-4, having that advantage throughout the duration of the match.
Now, knowing the fact that we've got the captains of both teams here, I'm going to step aside for a hot second because I know y'all traded a couple of one-liners back and forth to each other, and if we can avert the loud noises, hashtag loud noises trending worldwide for very good reasons, I'm going to give y'all the opportunity, because this is actually going to be one of the last windows that the two of you will have to have quote-unquote a face-to-face or at least a one-on-one conversation about this. And Wicked Nemesis, I'm going to turn the floor to you first.
Well, you only give me 2 minutes to say something. I can't even say my name in 2 minutes. Are you kidding me?
Well, then tell you what. Shane, can you hang with us through the break?
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, kids. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break real quick. And, yeah, you're right. Wicked trying to say something in 2 minutes. That's like me trying to make a salad at the all-you-can-eat buffet in actually 5 minutes. We're going to take that bottom of the hour break, and we're going to be back in 5 right here on Beyond Ringside.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hey parents, introducing the Communicizer. Go from boring old man speak.
Oh, I'm here if you want to talk.
To 100% off the chain.
Text me whenever, yo.
I love you, Dad.
Communicizer is not available in stores because it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Emily Richards for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. One person's negligence shattered my life in a single instant. You see, my little sister Annie was killed by a drunk driver. Please, remember those you love. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
My name is Mary Crafts, and this is how I live united. I spent the last 24 years serving others in my catering company, but I felt that a huge part of our community was still being underserved. Those invisible children and young families. With United Way, I advocate for them any way I can. As a volunteer, I go into people's homes and assess mother and infant well-being and help bring change and opportunity into their lives. Nothing feels as good as helping, so I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
As a mother, I'm making it a point to get the H1N1 flu vaccine for my children. You see, children are especially vulnerable to serious complications from the H1N1 flu, which could lead to hospitalization and even death. That's why I'm urging parents to get their children vaccinated. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to prevent the flu. Get the facts at flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Eric Darnell.
This is David Reagan.
Jamie McMurray. This is Carl Edwards here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety.
Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible.
Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate.
Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This is Bullet Bob Armstrong. I'm Southern born, Southern bred, and I never miss Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
It's a quarter after one.
Open the night with Lady Annabella and Darius Rucker.
So this is my bad comeback song.
June 21st at Oak Mountain Amphitheater.
Just a kiss on your lips in the moonlight.
Lady Annabella, Open the Night 2012 World Tour.
Baby, you're the only one I run to.
Lady Annabella Live. And Darius Rucker.
It won't be like this for long.
Plus special guest, Thompson Square.
You gonna kiss me all night.
June 21st at Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Get reserved seats now at livenation.com or charge by phone.
Hey, I'm just looking for.
Don't miss Lady Annabella and Darius Rucker with special guest Thompson Square. Sponsored by GAC. Buy tickets at livenation.com.
The biggest bands in rock. The wildest stage shows on earth. The biggest live event of the summer.
Everybody's gonna move their feet.
Kiss and Motley Crue. The Tour 2012. It doesn't get any better than this. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. 2 iconic bands, 1 historic tour. Kiss, Motley Crue. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Reserve seats are on sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com or charge by phone at 800-745-3000. Kiss and Motley Crue. Buy tickets at livenation.com.
This is Angel Orsini.
This is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only.
This is Dirty Dutch Mantel.
This is Liz Savage.
This is Vinny O'Brien, 2010 Golden Glove champion. This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we are live on a Sunday night, 25 minutes before the top of the hour. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside. Glad to have you on board on this Sunday evening. Thank you to everybody who's been checking us out on the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/Beyond Ringside.
Just to the point, look, Shane, last night when we saw you at Kmart, we approached you, and you took it upon yourself to stick your tail between your legs, and because you don't want any trouble. That's your favorite thing to say, I don't want any trouble, I don't want any trouble. Because we had you outnumbered. You got in your car, in your rental, in that little Lincoln rental car that I don't know how in the hell you can afford, and you went to swerve around that object. I don't know why the object was in the middle of the road. We had nothing to do with that. But you swerved, and you flipped your own rental car. And we heard you cry, and we heard your agony. In fact, Peach State Wrestling Alliance fan, I'm giving you 3 seconds to turn it off. Turn this off right now, because I'm telling you, you're not going to hear what's happening. 3, 2, 1.
I'd like to welcome all the new listeners in.
Now, shut up. Now that the sheep are gone, let me tell you this, Shane Knowles. When you crawled out of that, we heard you. We stood there and we watched. And we observed what was going to happen, because I told everybody that you were a coward. You had your opportunity. We wanted to do it the easy way. No. Then we want to do it the hard way. No. So we did it the Merchants of Death way. You did it yourself. You're perpetrating this lie to all these Peach State fans that we did that we had something to do with it. Nobody touched you. You did it to yourself. It's not our fault that you can't drive. You ever heard of evasive driving maneuvers? Well, when you've always got the cops and 8,000 fans going from county to county, you'll pick up on them really, really quick. But you wouldn't know that, because you hide behind your desk and behind your lawyers over in Carrollton, Georgia. And I don't give a crap if you go to Atlanta to get some high-priced lawyer. I had Crew Jones. Crew Jones has free lawyers in Atlanta. I have Brian DeFord, and God knows everybody in Birmingham owes him a favor, with the exception of Mabo. And these people, you perpetrate these lies to these people. You did that to yourself. And as you crawled out of that wreckage, as you crawled your carcass out, you doubted God that you would make it. We heard you scream. We heard you cry. I haven't heard a grown man cry since I beat up that fan 3 years ago with a sword cane for trying to get in the ring with me. And all you Peach State wrestling fans, we did not accept the War Games match. But on behalf of the Merchants of Death, we accept right now. That's right. Breaking news on Beyond Ringside, as it usually is. We accept the War Games match. That's quite all right. But I love how you went ahead and you pulled some of this outlaw stuff, like some of these places that all of a sudden want to do different things. These little outlaw promotions in Alabama, and they know who the hell they are. You want to put people on that you don't even have scheduled yet for a flyer? That's outlaw. We didn't accept that War Games match because you can't make us. Crew Jones and J-Rod and CJ Awesome have defended their titles in 30 days. We had 30 days to defend those titles. We could walk June 2nd, but we are men of honor. We are evil to the bone, but you know what? We are men of morals. And that's what's missing. Your little freaking sheeple that sit out there, that mindlessly followed you for all this time, you know why people have decided all of a sudden, well, I just don't know about Peach State, because they finally saw what real bad guys are, what real heels are. These sugar-coated candy asses that showed up that wanted to go and shake hands and sell stuff anyways, like, oh, I'm a bad guy, look at me. I'm part of the village people, look at me, everyone. Boo me, yeah, boo me, that's not us. We are the best and the greatest at what we do. People, there are people out there that would give their soul to Satan to get the heat that we do, to have the reaction from the fans that we do. And it's natural. These people hate us for doing what's in our nature. And that proves once again how much of sheeple. And sheeple are people that follow blindly like sheep. You don't question anything. These people never question you, Shane Knowles. And then I show up. Somebody that goes out and tells these people what he's going to do, what his charges are going to do, and we go out and do it. There has not been a single time, and you know what, you can go back and look at the tape. The 350 stations throughout the country that get to watch Peach State Wrestling Alliance, that get to see the Merchants of Death on their TV screens, for those that get to see what's up on the internet. And by the way, you can check out my YouTube page at Wicked Nemesis Enoch, E-N-O-C-H, on YouTube. But those people that get to see that, they see what true evil is, what true personification of righteousness is. Some people want to watch the world burn, and some people want to control it. Well, you know what? I want to control it. But if I can't control it, I'll set it afire. I'll scorch the entire earth from top to bottom, from left to right. And no contra code will save you. No faith alone will save you. No ancient alien, no Holy Ghost, no Satan, no chakra, no Bruce Lee, no Chuck Norris. Nobody's going to save you. There has never been anybody like the Merchants of Death or the Tribulation. And I love the fact that you're sheeple fans, that you're sheeple fans. I always talk about how you're sacrilege, you're a Satanist. No, I'm not. I'm a Christian. And I have no problems with Simon Sermon before now, but when he stuck his nose in our business, that's one thing. Now, CJ Awesome and J-Rod have a problem with him being openly homosexual. I do have a problem with people who didn't cheer them not too long ago all of a sudden being on their side. Those people need to ask themselves, are you really cheering for Simon Sermon and for Tommy Too Much? Or are you cheering against the Wicked Nemesis and the Merchants of Death? I believe it's the latter.
And that's the problem, Shane. You've never had anybody like us. And when we take over, there will never be anything like Peach State Wrestling Alliance because it won't exist. MODWA will be there and reign supreme. And you can say whatever you want to. You can have your ritualistic sacrifices. You can have whatever you want to. In action, Mike Jackson got set on fire. Boom. That quick. Ultimate Dragon, I could care less about you. You know why? Because they have the unlucky charm. Chris Knox. I have the Peach State Wrestling Alliance Heritage Champion. And for all you marks out there, that is not the NWA title. That Heritage Championship is from a great lineage of great champions. Shane Knowles, let me tell you this. I will give you this. And I will tell you this. I respect you, and that's why I'm doing what I do. These fans have pushed you to where you're losing weight, you're losing focus, and you're losing sight of the prize. And that's pushing PWA to the top. But I have an ego that I like to be stroked quite often. And I want to put the MOD name out there. That's why I'm changing it. And besides Peach State, really, I'm not too keen on peaches. Okay? I'm more of an apple man, a fruit of knowledge man, a pomegranate, if you will. These people are killing you, Shane Knowles. They are driving you to your grave. Each time I see you, you look worse and worse and worse. And it's because of the fans. Why are you out there selling tickets at Kmart when we caught up with you yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening? It's because your sheepish fans didn't want to get advance tickets. You're like, well, I don't know. Those guys, those sacrilegious guys, no. We're doing what's right. There's an incursion, a crusade, an exoteric, existential exorcism, if you will. It doesn't matter. We're doing what's right for the business, Shane. That title, that PWA Heritage title, is a great title. It goes from a great lineage of great former champions, but the former champions, your current champion, is Crew Jones. One of the greatest wrestlers to ever exist. You know that. Everybody on this panel knows that. And everybody that ever watched him wrestle knows that. And if you don't believe him, just ask him. And then you have the PWA Tag Team Champions. And you even said it. It's not just about winner takes all. Also, the winner gets the titles. And when we're still champions, when J-Rod and CJ Awesome, J-Rod, the bilingual beatdown himself, and CJ, the pretty boy, the pretty face of the Merchants of Death, Awesome, goes out there. And when they're still champions, I will reign supreme. And not only that, Shane Knowles, don't act like you put together that great women's match. Don't you dare steal my thunder, old man. I do that because nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, has anything to do with Calm Like a Bomb Pandora unless you go through me, and you know that. As Calm Like a Bomb Pandora said to me and to everybody that will listen Thursday, whether I wanted to hear it or not, I'm going to be in her corner. I went country there for a second. Rewind. I will be in her corner there against Aisha Sunshine, as I have been over 100 times. Calm Like a Bomb Pandora is the queen of the Merchants of Death. As she said, I am MOD to the day I die. And she didn't whistle. She actually dropped the F-bomb. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. And you know what? She will be in my corner, in the MOD's corner, in the steel cage match. Because she is the greatest women's wrestler alive, period. She is the greatest of her generation. She is the black rainbow of professional wrestling. She is dripping with alchemy. She is from the cradle to the grave, calm like a bomb Pandora. And Aisha Sunshine, she is one of the best out there. In the 2 and 3 years that she's been in the business, she has went above and beyond any woman you see on TV just about. That is going to be just a smidgen of what's to come. If you're not going to be in Carrollton, Georgia, June 2nd, if you're not going to be in attendance, don't call yourself a fan. This is not some angle. This is not some storyline. This is personal. This is real. Ask the fans that were there last night. It's real. The blood that was shed by Shane Knowles, the beatdown that occurred on Bull Buchanan, the smell, the stench of the fossilized human being, the old man Neanderthal, the single-celled organism that is Mike Jackson from a couple of weeks ago when he sat there and we handcuffed you and you watched your own best friend burn and the stench that he left behind. That's real. Peach State Wrestling Alliance and all wrestling fans from one coast to the other. If you go to any other wrestling show out there, you're a complete tool. And I don't give a crap. You know where I'm at. And if you think, well, who's crapping on my show? I am. Oh, you damn well better believe I am. There's one place you need to be June 2nd. And that's offense to every other wrestling promotion out there. And I don't give a crap who hears this. There's one place to be June 2nd. One. Uno. If you're not going to a show in the afternoon, because I know PCW Empire is running that morning, and they always have great shows. They are the only ones that probably shouldn't take offense to this. There's one place to be, and that's Peach State Wrestling Alliance, because that's the last time you will see it as PWA. And that's the last time you're going to see Shane Knowles. The last time you're going to see Simon Sermon and Tommy Too Much. The last time you're going to see Action Mike Jackson. And I know everybody in Alabama, if you can hear my voice, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, sir, I hope you're there, because I know you're going to enjoy watching that old piece of trash leave. Mike Jackson, for every single wrestler you've ever held down. They think John Laurinaitis is bad. John Laurinaitis is nothing, Mike Jackson. You are. You're the worst of the worst. You're scum. You're a parasite of this business. You've held so many people down and screwed so many people over. And you know what? For everybody that you've ever held down, for everybody that you've ever held politics against, this is personal. And when I take my size 15 Nazi military boot and I kick your dentures down your freaking throat, everybody, from Corey Hollis to Christian Hain, to every fan out there, Brooks Logan, Mabel, Andy Hudson, for Fast Eddie Lane, for everybody, for Johnny Slaughter, for everybody out there that Mike Jackson has ever been a douchebag to, has ever held anybody down. Mike Jackson, when you rolled around in that ring on fire and you legitimately were on fire, that's not fake, people. Because this is not fake. This is real. You can look at anything in professional wrestling today, and you know for a fact that the merchants of death are real. We are real. We are the ones that your little kids at night pray to be protected from. That's us. You can pray to God. You can pray to Satan. You can pray to Anton LaVey. It doesn't matter. Edgar Casey, to the Romulans. Khan! It doesn't matter. You can pray to whoever you want to. Because what's going to happen is the blood that you shed the other night was by your own accord. What's going to happen this time, what's going to happen is going to be at my hands. And everybody's going to sit around and watch. And everybody that's not on that card, everybody that wanted to be there, I'm sorry for you. If you want bookings after June 2nd, you can get in touch with me, Enoch at thewickednemesis.com. Because Shane Knowles, you can go back to Ranburn, go hang a few more black people like you guys do out there. Go put up a few more racist signs, and go and continue to suck at everything that is life. in everything that is death, because there's one, the merchants of death. There's one constant in this business, and that's the MOD. There's one personification of hatred, one harbinger of hate, and it is the MOD, the merchants of death, the unlucky charm, Chris Knox, the PWA Heritage Champion, Crew Jones, the PWA Tag Team Champions, CJ Awesome and J-Rod, myself, and of course, this Saturday, for the first time ever, Peach State Wrestling Alliance, you wanted the best, you got the best. Be careful what you wish for, because you just got it. Calm like a bomb, Pandora.
I'm going to stop you there.
Sunshine.
Shane, is 8 minutes going to be enough, or would you like to go ahead and take the break?
Whatever's good with you guys.
What, you may fire when ready, Gridley.
All right.
To use a Bugs Bunnyism.
You know, Nemesis, I hope you're
Hang on one second.
with yourself.
Hang on. Okay. He fell off the line. We got him back in now. Shane, it's yours.
You know, Nemesis, I hope you're quite content with yourself. Half the fall season lineup on television shows didn't last as long as your little diatribe right there. And also, you might want to get a rag and clean yourself up from loving yourself for quite so long. You know, I am under a lot of stress. You know, when Peach State Wrestling Alliance is the top promotion, they say heavy is the head that wears the crown. And it is bearing down on me. But there's another saying that you're quite familiar with. When you come at the king, you best not miss. And you guys were this close to taking me out, but you did not finish the job. For all your accolades, for all your bragging, for all your boasting, you didn't finish me off. You got your opportunity this Saturday. And I will say this, we are the underdog. Because as I said, you guys, all 5 of you are a cohesive unit, a movement. You all know your role, you all know your place. But to me, I think that works out to our advantage. Because it's much easier to scout you guys in this upcoming week, because you all know, the fans all know, we know what you're all about. Us, like I said, we've never tagged before. The 5 of us have never been in a ring on the same side. And to me, that's harder to scout for, because the unpredictability, the unknown, and the Ultimate Dragon as the X Factor coming back, someone you may not have a whole lot of information about in the last few months. This Saturday, June 2nd, you left me bleeding from the arms, from the chest, from the abdomen. I may be bleeding from the head. You may open these old wounds. I'm looking at them right now near my wristwatch. I have no doubt that this will be the most brutal, violent match that I'll ever be involved in. Any of these men will ever be involved. The 10 of us will never be the same when we wake up that Sunday, June the 3rd. Will ownership of the Peach State Wrestling Alliance change? I don't honestly know, but I will tell you this. You will take over this company when I've taken my last breath. They will have to carry me out of that ring. I don't care if it's due to blood loss. I don't care if I'm no longer breathing, Nemesis. That's the only way you'll have this company, because it's, you must submit. And when I get you in the middle of that ring, trust me, I'm going to go after Crew Jones, Chris Knox, CJ Awesome, J-Rod, but you are the one I've got my radar set on. Last night when I came in with some sticks that I had picked up from the side of the road, some tree branches, as I carried myself to the arena, and I broke them across the Heritage Champion's back. I broke it across the Unlucky Charm's back. The body slammed CJ Awesome, gave J-Rod a clothesline that damn near knocked his head off. And I looked at you on the apron, and it was like a deer in headlights on an autumn night around 10 o'clock on some back road. And you looked at me and you saw a fire in my eyes that you didn't like and you didn't recognize. And you hightailed it out of that ring, which leads us into War Games. A 16-foot high steel cage encompassing all 4 sides of the ring. There's nowhere for you to go. There's nowhere for me to go. No one can run. There's no count out. There'll also be no interference. It's just the 10 of us, 5 on 5, fighting for control of the #1 company. Do you have what it takes? I know you'll bring everything you've got, every dirty trick in the book, and that's why I went with the Ultimate Dragon. Someone who, personally, I hate. I could care less. I got rid of him 9 months ago, and until you guys came along, Things were happy and peaceful at Peach State. But I know that he is cut from the same cloth as all 5 of you. The same type of evil blood is coursing through his veins, and he's going to be on our side. He can fight fire with fire, every dirty tactic, every underhanded thing you guys may want to pull out. The Dragon wrote the book on all of this. So I will say, Nemesis, you are not a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not in there looking to do flying head scissors, wrist locks, headlock takedowns. I'm looking to fight. I will be there, fist clench, and steel-toed boots, ready to put it right up where you don't get a tan. So you come on Saturday. If you want to take this company, you have your opportunity. It's right there on the silver platter for the taking. But it will not go down without the worst fight that you will ever be involved in. And I guarantee you that there will be no count-out. There will be no disqualification. And there will be no mercy on your soul.
Friends, mark your calendars, make your plans. Saturday night, June the 2nd, Carrollton, Georgia, at the VFW Fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway. Doors open at 6, start time 7:30 p.m. Ticket prices, you can't beat it. Central and Eastern Alabama. West, Central, I'll say East Georgia as well. The place to be. Carrollton, Peach State Wrestling Alliance. When it's all said and done, and the War Games conclude, surrender or submit, who will have control? Will it be Shane Knowles and Team PWA? Will it be the Wicked Nemesis? And one of the most ungodly collections of talent you will ever find. This is going to be one for the record books. As always, Shane, it is a pleasure to have you on Beyond Ringside. Folks, do me a favor before we let you run. How can people track you down in PWA?
You can check us out on our website, www.pwaonline.net. You can also check out the Peach State Wrestling Alliance fan page on Facebook.
Folks, you can also call this number for more information. Area code 770-328-1162. That's 770-328-1162 for more information on ticket availability for this coming Saturday night. We'll see you there. And that, my friends, is a guarantee. Taking a top of the hour break, and we'll be back in 5 right here on Beyond Ringside.
Hey parent, pick up your kids without embarrassing them with OMGPS, a navigation system that tells you how far away you need to park when you pick them up.
Keisha at mall. Proceed to outer food court.
Thanks, OMGPS.
OMGPS is not available in stores because it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
You have tuned in and are now live listening to the 3-time NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Scrap Iron Pierce, and just like you, I am also locked in. And brother, we are beyond ringside.
This morning, a woman reached out. A man stepped up. Somebody sat down with 16-year-old Steven and taught him better study habits, and suddenly, toughing it out till graduation seemed to Steven a pretty good idea. We're realizing the way we live our lives can impact the way others live theirs, their education, their income, their health. We're not just wearing the shirt, we're living it. Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is Vengeance David Fuller, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, this is John Andrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
And this is Kenny Kip Kennedy, master of Kenny's Kempo Karate, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Smells good.
Well, look who came out of his man cave.
Just checking on you and dinner.
Well, your stomach clock is fast. Gonna be a while. Well, why don't you...
You okay?
Oh,
honey!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke. But you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
This is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hey, how you doing? This is Joe Walsh. I'm speaking on behalf of Rad. It's okay to rock and roll, right? But don't drive home drunk. If you're drunk, call me up. I have a limo. I'll come and get you.
Sleep all day, out all night. I know where you're going. I don't think that's
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Voodoo Lily with Birmingham's Tragic City Rollers, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Hi, NBA forward Kevin Durant from the Oklahoma City Thunder, here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have more energy to do the things you like to do.
And that's a slam dunk.
Whether you like to shoot hoops like me, skateboard, ride a bike,
or dance on your roof,
be a player.
Get up, play, and move it your way.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Oh, yes, this is Paul Bearer, and some people call me Percy Pringle III. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Let me drive.
How do you know when it's time to give up the keys? When your dog grabs your keys from your lap and your lap is on the floor. Yep, it's Jeff Foxworthy Parade saying, when you party, be sure to designate before you celebrate.
If you want to make it home alive, let me drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Please don't drink and drive. It's not fun.
This is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This is Angel Orsini.
This is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only.
This is Dirty Dutch Mantel.
This is Liz Savage.
This is Vinny O'Brien, 2010 Golden Glove champion. This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
For the thousands in attendance here today, and the millions watching from around the world, there's only one thing left to say. I sure as hell don't make the money he does, so I ain't gonna finish that damn phrase. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Sunday night, 7 after the top of the hour. Fast Eddie Lane, behind the control panel, Andy Hudson in studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the views and expressions and opinions expressed by the Wicked Nemesis do not necessarily reflect those of Beyond Ringside or anybody else on the panel. Moving on.
Unless, of course, you have a couple of corn dogs and maybe some chicken fingers. Mabo, come on back in.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, yesterday at the comic book convention with all the cosplayers walking around, I felt like I was an animal podiatrist because there was nothing but camel toes and moose knuckles everywhere.
Wicked Nemesis, come on back in.
Have you ever seen an actual camel toe?
Are we talking about live? Are we talking about in print? Or are we talking about Mabo's internet porn?
Oh, I'm sure there was an imprint if it was a camel toe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the views and opinions expressed by Mark Mabo Bowman are not those necessarily.
He made that trip to the Birmingham Zoo again, didn't he? I want to say yes.
Magic Online damn sure backs up those statements.
Magic City Online's cool as hell. Mr. MCO Chase Pearson and company over there, always great. Chase is getting ready to bring back MCO Radio in the very near future. He and I are working to get together so I can help him finish setting up the studio and getting everything in play. And who knows, if we do something on Mondays before I go to work with the Birmingham Barons, first pitch 7:05 at Regents Park. Check out barons.com for all upcoming game information. Matter of fact, I'll be there tomorrow night and Tuesday night. Shameless plugs. Gotta love them. I want to say a very special thank you to Shane Knowles with the Peach State Wrestling Alliance for coming on. Had a great time during that, and also got actually, and for those of you who know him, that was actually a short form promo by the Wicked Nemesis. It really was. And looking forward to it. Yes, I will be there. Mabo's coming along. He'll be there. Andy Hudson working on the scheduling as we speak. He may just be there too. Main event, War Games. It's going to be fun. First time for me to see a live War Games in a number of years, and I'm really looking forward to this. There's a lot of great shows going on in and around the southeastern U.S. and all across the country. You know, I really wish I had the opportunity. Everybody knows lately that I've been working 2 jobs pretty much all the way throughout the week, so I don't get the chance to do the calendar like I used to. I've been trying to get the free time in order to really sit down and do it, and unfortunately I just have not had a chance to. So a lot of the times it's catch as catch can. I wanted to try to get some information and some feedback from the NWA Rampage Pro show that took place today over in Warner Robins, Georgia. The original game plan was for yours truly to be over there for the Rampage Pro show, because I really had all 4 of us on the cast at this point, including Brooks Logan. We all have a technical vested interest in 2 of the matches. Number 1, the Jimmy Rave Kyle Matthews match for the Rampage Pro Championship, as well as the 4-way match for Loser Leaves Jimmy Rave Approved. Because I've personally worked with 3 out of the 4, and I know Wicked has. Mabo, you're pretty good friends with 3 out of the 4. Andy, I think, has had a chance to see a couple of them work, most of them work as well, and I'm referring to Mike Posey, Chip Day, Corey Hollis, and Patrick Bentley, 4 members of JRA. And after that match this afternoon, which took place over in Warner Robins, Georgia, Jimmy Rave Approved will only be 3 members instead of 4. And I was hoping to get some word back on that particular show. I haven't had a chance to. But speaking of, next Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, we are going to be joined by the Wrestling Machine, Corey Hollis, right here on Beyond Ringside. Had a chance to work with him last night in Pell City, Alabama with Global Championship Wrestling. He and Chip Day tore the house down. Hell of a match. Folks, you should have been last night in Pell City, Alabama for Global Warfare. I will say it like this. For those who enjoy watching a great technical match with 2 high flyers who are not afraid to do anything at any point in time, Chip Day, Corey Hollis lit up the skies. And I will say this from the bottom of my heart, and I would say this, I'm saying this because I'm not on payroll at this exact moment. I had a hell of a time last night. Every match, all 8 matches were solid, and I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, believe that show last night had something for everybody. We are going to make arrangements to get Angelina Rush on the show in the very near future before the next Pell City outing, because there is going to be a rematch between Tracy Taylor and Angelina Rush, and we are working on getting a number of the stars from pro wrestling and mixed martial arts on Beyond Ringside in the very near future. So keep your eyes on beyondringside.com. It just keeps getting better. Going to open up the floor at 12 minutes before after the top of the hour. Free-form discussion, any topic you want to throw out there, and Mabo, I'm going to throw it your way first.
Oh, well, let's go with the obvious. That's out floating in the Ethernet internet land there, the whole Jericho being suspended from the WWE for 30 days for quote-unquote disrespecting, I believe it was the Brazilian flag?
Yeah.
Nah, I think you're right on that.
It was wherever Sao Paulo is, and that's Brazil, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I've heard varying stories, you know, live reports, all that. You know, some are saying WWE didn't know.
Okay.
I don't think Jericho, you know, he's always been a pretty good company man.
Okay.
I don't think he would go like that. And I'm pretty sure, as well-traveled as he is, he would know.
Go ahead.
He would know the rules, you know, of going into a foreign country. And I'm sure that since this was WWE's first time into Brazil, I'm pretty sure the front office went over with each and every member of that roster, hey, you can do this, you don't do this, please don't do this. We can't afford to have that bad press kind of do this deal. Am I saying that they just happen to have somebody in the audience with a flag? I don't know if they'd go that far, but I mean, to say that WWE maybe didn't know about it beforehand, I question it. And I question this is all over it. Maybe it's a I'm not going to say setup, because it went from indefinitely to just 30 days. That's a month. I don't know what he might have planned for a month. Why would he take a month off and then not come back? So.
Well, I do know that, of course, in the internet world, that I did read a response by Jericho himself on his Twitter that, you know, he apologized, and he, you know, it's kind of one of those things, you know, it may be a business tagline, but hey, getting caught up in the heat of the moment, trying to entertain the fans, and basically I made a mistake, you know, and I accept full responsibility for it. But if you can remember, Maybo, and I know Wicked, you probably do too, you remember a number of years ago when Vader was under WWE, and they were in, I don't know if they were in some Saudi country or whatever, but they had Vader on that, whatever that their local television show is, and the host of it, he questioned the realism of professional wrestling, and Vader jerked him up by his tie, and next thing you know, all of a sudden, Vader ain't seen anymore. So I don't know, Maybo, on your question on the legitimacy of it, I think I'm kind of riding the fence on it, but I will say that even the die-hard professionals occasionally in the heat of the moment are trying to do something on the fly to entertain the fans, you know, can sometimes do the oh shit moment, you know.
Ooh, you just cussing. Eddie didn't even know it. Well, the thing is Vader, well, you're saying Vader wasn't ever seen again. He wasn't allowed back in the country, but I've heard tell that, you know, they told the not WWE, but the Saudi network, you know, said, hey, you know, feel free to put your hands on him, rough him up.
Yeah, but here's the thing too, that when he was suspended for like, or you didn't see Vader for like 30 days or something like that, and that was no work. That was a shoot. Yeah, that basically the head office of WWE and them had to basically do damage control, because you know it really caused a stir that a lot of people, I'm talking about the Vader situation, that it caused a lot bigger stir than even the local government thought it would, and basically they went to Vince and were like, you know, we're sorry, but you've got to do something about this. You know, this went a little too far. So like I said, I mean, Jericho, as long as he's been in the business, as many places as he's traveled in the world, it could have just been one of them moments. And he probably, even right after he did it, Jericho might have just realized, I messed up.
Yeah. What Lewis is your thoughts?
Just think about Shawn Michaels. Remember when Shawn Michaels stuck the Canadian flag up his nose a few years ago?
Yeah, I think I saw you tweeted that earlier or something.
Yes, I mean, and that's the first example of Chill Mascaras, and the guy that does the Chill Shack on YouTube. He and I, have discussions all the time, and he and I both pointed at that at almost the exact same moment on Twitter. That is the one thing you can point out. Shawn Michaels stuck the Canadian flag up his nose. I mean, you can't get much more disrespectful than that. Yeah. And I believe it was one of those moments. Now, he was going to be gone for some time because of what was going on with Fozzy. And I can tell you right now, you want me to tell you that it's a shoot and that it's real? They wouldn't let Chris Jericho come in and hit Randy Orton 3 times with a finish like he did Monday Night on Raw, and then not have a blow-off to that match at the next pay-per-view. They're not going to do that to Randy Orton, because Randy Orton and John Cena are the 2 faces of that company. CM Punk slowly rising to that, but they are the 2 faces of WWE, and they would not have let him come out and do that to Randy Orton if he was going to take his time away to go do stuff with Fozzy at that time. Absolutely no way.
Well, I mean, I guess it also goes to show, country by country, that what you can do in one country to the flag, you can't do the other. I know JBL pointed out, also he made mention about years ago when he, goose stepped in Germany, and he definitely, he got heat for that.
And there was one more instance that I don't know if y'all remember or not, when Yokozuna first, within his first few months of being in the company, Mr. Fuji was doing the quote-unquote knockdown challenge, where, challenging anybody to take Yokozuna off his feet. Well, Hacksaw Duggan did it, and if y'all remember, after the assault at the end, Yokozuna dragged Duggan over to the corner, laid the American flag over him, and then did his bonsai drop on it. After that incident, unless my memory's faulty on it, Yokozuna didn't suffer no repercussions from that, but at every one of Yokozuna's matches from then on, there was never an American flag brought to the ring.
That goes back to what I was saying. It varies from country to country. I mean, this was literally considered, it's, I almost said terminal wolf. It's like I was working at my job. But it's, it's a crime. It's a crime to disrespect their flag. So I think, maybe WWE will start looking at their overseas policies when you're like, give them a package, a little manila envelope there, say, hey, here's the do's and don'ts, here are the country rules, especially when you're going to start having these new guys come in, like your Titus O'Neills and your Darren Youngs, those who have never been to other countries. I think, honestly, with this instance, WWE needs to pass out a rules and regulations. I mean, you should use your head anyway, but every place has their, just minor rules that you wouldn't think about. So I don't know.
Let me jump in for a second.
And I remember the incident with Yokozuna when he did the bonsai drop. But I was going to say, well, as you were saying, I was like, man, I don't remember him getting in trouble for that. And you're right, I don't remember him getting in trouble for that at all. And it's a crime for the flag to even touch the ground in the United States. And I looked up the bylaws and the Constitution for Brazil, and it's 17 years minimum for doing something to that flag. So they could have arrested him and put him in prison for 17 years.
Well, according to the story, at least once again, I'll say in the internet world, according to the story, that right after Jericho got out of the ring, he got to the back, and there was police officials waiting on him, and they did mention the prison term, for disrespecting the flag in any way. But according to the internet, naturally, they said that basically WWE officials stepped in, cooler heads prevailed, but Jericho immediately left the building.
Now, let me jump in for a second. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go quasi-political for a half second. The show emanates from the state of Alabama inside the United States of America. We, in and of ourselves, do not desecrate the United States flag. However, we are forced to sit through situations where people from other countries can and are protected by freedom of speech, and I think that's a total crock of horse crap. And yet you've got countries also around the world where they will do things to our flag, and we're supposed to sit back and take it.
Well, that's because America has put themselves in that position where we're supposedly holier than thou. And if we're really Christians, you know what we would do?
Turn the other cheek?
Turn the other cheek.
Okay, but
like, okay, that's those heathens over there acting like that. The civilized ones of those don't do like that, and that's exactly what they do. That's what they should do, because they have put themselves in that position to be. We look down upon all countries, and if we don't like what you're doing, if we don't like, you know, if we want to make some money off your opium or your cocaine, we'll bomb the crap out of you, and then we'll invade you, and then we'll take over your oil, we'll destroy all your artifacts, and then you can go out and burn effigies of presidents that really have no power at all in the system. I went really political there for a second, but y'all know I love politics.
Well, my ending on this particular subject should simply be, like you said, Maybo, about, you know, handing out a packet. I think it ought to just be a memo to everybody that says simply the old statement, "When in Rome," and you can finish that out. You know.
Actually, I think it is finished out with just "When in Rome." I think that's where it ends, Andy. Just "When in Rome."
And by the same token, respect in and of itself should still be practiced by everybody. There are some things in this world that you should not do. But by the same...
Eddie, though, go ahead, Wick.
I was going to say, well, what I was going to say is I was actually going to bring up that also, Maybo, for my closing point, was what happened to Jericho, because I took a towel that had the Confederate flag colored on it, you know, like it was, you know, it was made that way. And I took it and hung it, you know, and strung it up, put it in the air with the arms in there at Piedmont, NWA Pro South in Piedmont, Alabama this past Friday night. And I took it, threw it on the ground, stomped it, cut a promo about, you know, the South, you know, and I related it to the judge saying that there was a judgment cast upon the South after they lost the Civil War. And I said, remember the fact, because, you know, they were all hooping and hollering when I pulled it out. And I said, you know, a lot of you guys are going to, you know, celebrate Memorial Day and actually memorialize the people that fought for this. And they're like, you're damn right. You know, like they were excited. Like I was going babyface. And then when I told them, I was like, you know, they just didn't want to be told what to do with their taxes and their slaves. Oh, people didn't like that. And when I threw it on the ground and stomped it, that got a reaction. And some of these same people, I know for a fact, went on the internet and were putting, what's wrong with Jericho doing that to the Brazilian flag? I did it with a Confederate, a flag that really doesn't exist anymore because they lost. And my mom just owned me for stomping on the ground. Really? Yes.
Wait, Wick.
Mom, we're Native American. She's like, well, I'm part of the women of Confederate veterans. I'm like,
oh God.
Oh
yes. Crap.
Oh yes. My mom cussed me from the time I walked. Oh, she went ate crap on me, and I had the Hitler mustache and the soul patch, and she's like, I see with this Hitler mustache, saying that I was a fascist for doing this, and that's why I had the Hitler mustache. I said, no, Mother. It's why do you think I wear the mohawk? It's because I don't have to say anything. People instantly boo me. It's like, oh, look at this, look at this guy.
They didn't boo you in that bar in Tennessee, did they?
Oh, I don't care. Who cares?
No,
Who cares?
That was still funny as hell.
Anyway, think that the people that listen to a lot of wrestling radio shows think they're quote unquote smart marks. Anyways, these are the same people that try to call me by my real name. Hey, little good. I'm like, and I can't stand that. I can't stand why would you do that? Why do fans do that? Why do fans, like when you're friends with them on social media, or if they follow you, they want to call you by your shoot name like it's the cool thing to do, and they'll throw out your shoot name when it doesn't even need to be. It's like, oh man, I agree with you 100%, Enoch. If you're commenting on my post, of course you're agreeing with me, you stupid ass. Don't say the name. And I cannot stand that. And not just one person does it, not just two people do it. 8 million people do it. Everybody, they think that's the cool thing to do. They think the cool thing is to call people out by the shoot because they think that they're smart. Hey, I know this guy. I saw this guy eating at McDonald's. What's up, Enoch? You see that? I don't call him Wicked Nemesis. I'm like, you goofball idiot. And I wanted to, what do you guys think about that? Because I related it in the promo to what the judge and I am doing, and there being a judgment, as there was a judgment by the carpetbaggers making money, that, you know, their pain was their pleasure, you know, things like that. I'm hoping to actually get that footage next Friday to be put up on the internet on my YouTube page. But what do you guys think about that? I was going to ask Andy Hudson really quick.
Really weak to me. It goes back to, I think it was 96 or 97, whenever the NWO premiered if you remember right, on Monday Night Nitro, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall showed up, yada, yada, yada. You know, we know they jumping on Bischoff and whatever. Nobody was calling Nash and Hall either Diesel or Razor Ramon, whatever. But the thing is, Eric Bischoff said that night, he said, let me make a statement here to Kevin Nash. You know, you're 7 feet, this, that, and the other. And right at that moment, I knew. I'm like, they just changed the wrestling image, excuse me, of whether you're independent or mainstream, to where people that see wrestlers out now will start calling them by their real names. You know, now a lot of wrestlers don't care one way or the other. Some would prefer, you know, especially if they're out doing an autograph signing or whatever, you know. I mean, I'm sure Kane wouldn't appreciate doing an autograph signing. You come up, hey Glenn, how you doing? You know. But really, to me, that all started back when the NWO premiered. And, you know, when Eric Bischoff called Kevin Nash by his full name, you know, by his real name, I thought, uh-oh, landscape just changed. But,
Maybo, same question, Maybo.
Well, it's like this. You know, back in the day before the advent of the internet going hardcore like it is now and being so accessible to, you know, even the most, you know, buck-toothed, slag-jawed hillbilly, it was, you know, they had the dirt sheets, and then they even had some, you know, that would sit there. And I remember one particular, I can't remember the name of the magazine, but I used to buy one particular, and they would have, you know, wrestlers' shoot names. And it was like, okay, cool. And it was kind of more of that, to me, it made it more personable. But you know, when I would have the opportunity, like when I would go to a WWF event, I wouldn't be like, you know, I wouldn't see Ahmed Johnson after the show getting his autograph or whatever, be like, oh, thanks, Tony, I appreciate that. I'd be like, you know, thank you, Mr. Johnson, or, you know, thanks, Ahmed, I appreciate that. I mean, it made it more personable to sort of, you know, for me, it made it more personal as far as getting to know them, but I would never disrespect them by, you know, calling them that name. I mean,
exactly.
And the thing is it's kind of different because there was an, you know, instance yesterday. You know, for example, I went to this comic book convention. Adam Baldwin was there. For those who don't know who Adam Baldwin is, he played Jane Cobb on Firefly. He was Animal Mother in Full Metal Jacket, and he was I can't remember what his character's name is on Chuck. That's a little different. I'm not going to go up and be like, oh, hey, Jane, how's it going? Thanks for your autograph, Jane, or Chuck, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because that's a little different. He plays multiple roles.
Right.
So it would be weird to call him that. For the most part, you know, someone in the professional wrestling business is that gimmick for the longest. I've noticed these days that there's a lot of people that, you know, I'm gonna say 8 times out of 10, they go by their real name. So, you know, it's no big deal to call John Cena John Cena. That's his name. Randy Orton, you know. But, you know, you wouldn't go up to CM Punk and be like, you know, unless you just wanted to be a dick and then turn around and have him probably either, I don't think he would lay hands on you, but he would definitely probably run you into the ground if you went to CM Punk and be like, oh, appreciate that, Phil. And then especially like wink, oh my God. He's going to be like, you're a tool, give me back the autograph.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, to me, it's all about respect.
Yeah.
Because there's, something real simple. Actors and actresses play characters.
Right.
Pro wrestlers, workers, whatever your professional, whatever you want to, the nomenclature you want to call them, they have personas. Persona basically short for personality. That's the difference to me. That is why I don't sit there, you know, if the one time I met the Undertaker, I said, you know, Undertaker, that would sound stupid, be like, you know, I appreciate it, Taker, thank you so much. Didn't go Mark or Mr. Calloway or blah, blah, blah. I don't know the man. I ain't been to his house. We ain't cooked out. I ain't swimming in his pool. And I mean, and Wick, back me up on this. Back me up. Eddie, you can back me up too. Most of the time, you guys in the locker room don't even call each other by your shoot name, even if you know it. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Eddie?
I can come in on this now. My Eddie is my family nickname. My first name is forever gone bye-bye. If I ever hear it, I automatically will turn a gun on you because I think I owe you money.
Marcellus.
Now,
is your name Marcellus Wallace?
there you go.
This is what all sounds look like. What?
Now, by the same token, I decided to go, even when I called myself the Continental Lover Eddie Richard back in my first couple of years in this industry. And then I decided, shut. Awesome. Thank you. And then it got shortened to Loverboy Eddie Richard. And I'm blah, blah, blah. I had an interview segment called The Loverboys Lounge. Bite me. And from that standard, we go from there. And by the way, I pulled some really cool crap in that era, too. Didn't copycat anybody. Did my own original material. From that vantage point, when I decided to merge all of the different personas and Fast Eddie Lane stayed. L-A-Y-N-E. It has always been L-A-Y-N-E. Sorry, kids, there is no L-A-N-E in my vocab other than the slot of road that you're driving on. Now, I do use my birth last name on my Facebook page. It is Eddie Lane Powell. I have no problem with that. I know who knows me as that name. I know who knows me as Eddie Lane. If you decide okay, most people are going to call me Fast Eddie anyway. DJ Guy. Hey, Magic City Motor Mouth. Even my family will use gimmick names for me. All of which I can say in church. Thank God. But before I even broke into this business, even if I knew their real name, I have enough respect for this business and the people who were in it, once again, when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, before I started training in 85, late 84, early 85. Even if I knew their real names, especially if it was in a public forum, damn right I protected the names. Back in the days when Ken Lucas, Tony Charles, I'll even say Jerry Stubbs, Tommy Rich and everybody else was making their way through Birmingham when Andre the Giant came through. Now, when I actually met him outside, I did call him Mr. Rusimov out of respect, because I felt that saying Andre, I did say sir as well out of respect. In that circumstance, I felt that being in my position where I was, yeah, it was proper for me to call him Mr. Rusimov or sir. But even in this business right now, when Wick and I work a show together, hey, Wick! Or I'll turn around and say, hey, Spikey! Something like that. I'll be a smartass. He knows when I'm calling him seriously. He knows when I'm calling him in a humorous manner. It depends. But that's something that people have forgotten how to have in this day and age, and by God, pisses me off. Every little inner mark out there, I don't care if you have a dirt sheet, a website, a radio show, terrestrial, satellite, or internet-based. Everybody wants to be a critic of this business. You earn the right to be a damn critic when you strap on some boots, get in the ring, and take your first back bump and learn this business. Oh, well, I've been sitting there watching TV all these years, and then, something I can tell you what you're doing wrong. The hell you can half the time. You see what is shown on television. And then you have real students of this business. As Ric Flair would have said, students of this sport. You have people like Mark Bowman, who take the time to learn and be respectful while they're at it. Andy Hudson, Brooks Logan. People that even if we didn't hang out in shoot life, I would still be proud to call friends as part of the wrestling industry, because they're not out to blow the roof off this crap. So for the little children out there who think you're all that in a bag of effing Wheaties, go watch Desperate Housewives. Go watch 60 Minutes. Go try to descramble the Playboy channel. And call us when you, by God, grow up. EOD. Last call. Andy Hudson.
Is it still open for them?
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't get to watch it live, changing paces real quick here, Eddie, but I know me and you a lot of times get on the UFC bandwagon. Was anybody that even, whether you saw the event or read the results, as I read the results.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm buying the replay.
Oh, then I don't want to ruin anything for you.
No, go ahead. I read the results.
Okay. Was anybody at all surprised that for like the umpteenth time, Frank Mir got his head completely bashed in?
Is it any surprise why in the hell did he get a title shot to begin with? What happened to the rematch for Cain Velasquez? Why did he get a rematch?
That's what I've never understood.
He was on the same damn card.
I personally, and you know, being a UFC fan, I actually hate to admit this, I've never actually got to watch a Dos Santos fight, but everything I've seen from clips and all that, I mean, folks, let me put this in perspective for you real quick. Brock Lesnar destroyed Frank Mir.
The second time. The first time, remember?
The first time Brock Lesnar beat the teetotal crap out of Frank Mir, Brock Lesnar just was too cocky and got caught in a leg lock.
Ankle lock.
Whatever. But anyway, run the train here real quick. Brock Lesnar beat the crap out of Frank Mir the second time. Shane Carwin was a referee stoppage in the first round from destroying Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock did submit him later on. But here, the point I'm getting to, a lot of the weight classes in the UFC are wide open. But with Frank Mir, the people like Dos Santos destroyed the guy that destroyed Lesnar, that destroyed Mir.
And then Alistair Overeem in the mix.
And then Overeem is just now back from a 30-day suspension. Thank you for playing.
Oh, that's right. He got caught juicing.
Yes, indeed, but he is back.
Okay.
But anyway, I mean...
Dumbass.
I mean, right now, everybody used to talk about Anderson Silva, GSP, and to me, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, GSP is pound for pound the greatest fighter in the world.
Tell that to Anderson Silva fans.
If Silva fight him, I'd love to see it. But either
I'd like
way,
to see him meet in the middle.
But right now, you have two more players in John Bones Jones.
Oh, hell yeah.
In the light heavyweight division. And now Dos Santos. But my whole point, I'm sorry to get off track for a second. I'm like you, Eddie. Why in the hell did Frank Mir get a title shot? Frank Mir needs to retire. Plain and Tito Ortiz, his fight with Forrest Griffin last night, over. He's done. Frank Mir needs to take the same bloody path because he's not going to win another championship unless it's a Stanley School for the Blind heavyweight championship or whatever in mixed martial arts.
Randy Couture has a better chance of winning a championship than Frank Mir does.
Hell
but
yeah.
by the same token, yeah, of course, Captain America can do anything he by God wants. Here's the thing, and this has been my beef about the Ultimate Fighting Championships, the UFC. You know, they call pro wrestling scripted, they call us sports entertainment, they call us fake. You know something? At least most of the promotions that have a clue out there base a ranking system on wins and losses. My God, you're trying to put the Ultimate Fighting Championships over as a legitimate sport, and you're letting somebody who has not racked off at least a certain number of wins into a title match.
And real quick, Eddie, on that note, if I forgot...
Remember, they put Brock Lesnar in the title match at 2-1.
My mind just went blank on the guy that just got off suspension. I'm sorry. But either way, here's a little note for
Charles Sonnen.
Thank you. Here's a little note for Dana White if he hasn't already set it up. From what I read, the impressive knockout he has, where's Roy Big Country Nelson's heavyweight title shot?
He deserves one 2 years ago.
Roy Nelson last night, from what I read, actually sat there and called out Brock Lesnar.
Because of the simple fact that at that point in time when Roy Nelson was his most popular in the Ultimate Fighting Championships, Roy Nelson was not your prototypical jacked up bodybuilder.
Exactly.
He wasn't the poster boy from Muscle and Fitness magazine. He had a beer belly on him. He was not in the greatest physical condition, but by God, he could throw a haymaker.
Exactly.
Big Country, Roy Nelson has the most overlooked heavyweight in MMA history, if we can utilize that term.
Yes, I totally agree. And here's another
Boy's
thing.
pumped up, isn't he? Hello, how you doing? Fast Eddie Lane here.
If Dana too wants to continue with the Ultimate Fighter show, how about just like from the guys from the first season, from your Stephen Bonners to your Forrest Griffins to your
now Griffin is a former champion.
Yeah, Josh Koscheck. All these guys, if you're still wanting to push this Ultimate Fighter show, hey, Roy Nelson was the guy that nobody, not even Dana White, predicted to even make it to the finals of the show, and he won the whole effing thing. Where is your Ultimate Fighter winner, guys? Title shots. Yes, Roy Nelson has lost a fight or two. How many fights has Frank Mir lost, Dana? I'm sorry, Dana. You're a great businessman. I love UFC, but right now, you're starting to get almost as lame as WWE programming, as TNA programming, and you need to start if you want to push your Ultimate Fighter show, start giving your Ultimate Fighter guys title shots, especially ones that win on your big cards, i.e. Roy Nelson impressively knocking out a guy that they didn't expect Roy Nelson to last 2 rounds with.
That is why on this show for the longest time we've actually been backing away from a lot of the WWE stuff directly from Raw, SmackDown, and some Impact. Now that Brooke Hogan's being brought in as the exec, none of it. No, we're not touching it.
No.
That'd be an entirely different hour, and I got to be ready to roll at 9. But by the same token, I'm putting this in proper perspective. FCW, it's on YouTube. You can watch it. NXT Superstars on YouTube and .com, WWE's official channel on YouTube. You can watch them there. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Ohio Valley Wrestling, GCW. PWA, I think, runs some of their stuff web-based. I know Wicked Nemesis puts up a ton of stuff that he works in. Look, open notation to all pro wrestling promoters in the United States and abroad. If you want somebody who is going to come in and give 175% to build your business, to be as shameless as possible about getting out the word of your show existing, bypass all the other crap. Go straight to the Wicked Nemesis. I mean, look, I am the oracle of shameless promotion. This man is on par with me 7 days a week and twice on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. And I'm not saying that because he's on this staff. I'm not saying that because he's a friend of mine. I'm saying that because it's the by God truth. If you want somebody who is going to bust his nuts every minute that he is awake and not around his kids or his wife, when he's concentrating on wrestling, which is 23 hours out of the day most of the time, and Mrs. Wicked is probably going to kick my ass for saying it like that. But it's the by God truth. If every worker, not just wrestler, worker in this business was as avid and as passionate about getting out the word not only about yourself but about your company that you're working for as the Wicked Nemesis was, we wouldn't even be talking about WW by God E. We would be talking about legitimate wrestling promotions around the United States and abroad where they have people who have a passion for this business. It's that easy. Yeah, I'm a shameless SOB, and if I'm working a show, you damn right I'm working my nuts off to try to get the word out about it. That's me, Fast Eddie Lane. Wicked Nemesis and I are in a dead heat to see, well, and he bypasses me on more than one occasion because he's working different shows. I have an exclusivity agreement for the most part. When Global Championship Wrestling runs, I am there. Wicked's not tied down to one particular promotion. I enjoy my position with GCW. GCW's taking June 2nd off. Where am I going to be? I'm on the road to Peach State Wrestling Alliance. There was a night that GCW didn't run. Where was I? I was at the AWA show in Munford. We took a night off in GCW. Where was I? I was at the National Wrestling Alliance show in Lebanon, Tennessee. So yeah, when the situation rolls, my happy ass is on the road. But by the same token, like I say, Wicked, that's not a stroke to your ego in any capacity. It's the by God truth. And brother, I respect you for that. And now that he probably missed half of what I said because he's calling back in. Mabo, come on back in for a hot second.
Okay.
Anything you like to add to what I just said?
No. I mean, I would like to add, watch NXT because, I mean, right now the current crop that's on there has been running for over a year. It's kind of, I know they're trying to keep it fresh, but just for the commentary of William Regal alone, man, the man, he's just, it's cheesy jokes, but they're great. He's just phenomenal on commentary. He had so much, for those who can't watch when he does commentary in FCW, watch NXT. And I know when they're eventually, they swore up and down they're eventually going to wrap up this season of NXT, and that's when the new crew comes in. It will be new people. I hope I hope Regal still is at least allowed to commentate. But yeah, it's watch NXT. Man, I wish we could have William Regal on the show.
I'm gonna start working on that. I'll start talking to him and see what I can do. I'll talk to Joe Villa and everybody up at WWE Stanford to see if there's something I can do.
Yeah, because I want to add real quick, ladies and gentlemen, as a student, as I call myself a student of the game, when it comes to in-ring techniques and even from a business standpoint, I have said this for many years. William Regal, to me, is truly the most underrated, underappreciated guy that has ever laced up a pair of boots. If to all you young guys out there, if you want a goal to truly learn what it takes to make it in the ring, whether it's mental or physical, pray to the good Lord above that you win a contest. You have the money. Spend one day. Spend a 4-hour set in-ring session with William Regal, and I guarantee you, I will put money on this. And this is a broke man saying this, folks. I will put money on it that you will learn more in that 4 hours than you will at 4 months at 99% of the wrestling schools across this country.
Exactly. Tell you what, okay, I was away from the microphone for a minute. Has everybody had a chance to hit a last call circumstance? Wicked? We had him back a second ago. There he is.
Sir.
Have you done a last call?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, but and Wicked, I don't know if you heard what I said a minute ago, and I'm going to expound on something that I said a few minutes back. Like I said, even if we weren't friends in real life, people like Mark Bowman, you know, we had somebody on this show a couple of weeks ago who made a comment that I know, obviously he didn't think that Mark was on the phone when he made the comment.
Wouldn't me?
Pissed me the hell off. Because, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it like this. I wish last night was a beautiful event for me. In more ways than one. And I wish Mabo and Tunzi could have been at that show, and I know why they don't. I know why they weren't. And we're not going to go into that. But I will say this. On a regular basis, wrestling promoters, wrestlers, managers, refs, announcers should pray that they can get people as passionate, not to mention knowledgeable, but damn sure passionate about this business as people like Mark Bowman and Adam Coffey, 2 tons. I'm sorry, Adam, didn't mean to really pop the shoot name out there, but what the hell, we're friends. You'll just razz the shit out of me on my Facebook page, and yes, I just dropped that bomb too, thanks. Or on Twitter. God knows, he takes the shots on Twitter, and I love him. I mean, I'm humbled when y'all do that. I really am, even if I am the second worst announcer in the building. Right, Dr. Johnny Fever? And at this point, we're going 10 minutes before the top of the hour. We've got a lot of us have appearances coming up. You've heard the fact that Wicked and I, most of us are going to be on Saturday, June 2nd in Carrollton, Georgia with the Peach State Wrestling Alliance in one capacity or another, whether it be as fan, whether it be as worker. And, you know, I'm still one, I like to go to a show just to be a fan. I'm not on a mission. I'm not doing recon. I'm going to enjoy it. Folks, check reality at the door sometimes, and check your damned attitudes at the door too. Go in, grab a ticket, then go in. Get you some popcorn or some nachos and a soda or a bottle of water, and let it go and enjoy the show. Plain and simple. Andy Hudson, shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs. Yeah. Everybody, if you ever get a chance to get out to Graysville, Alabama, check out End Zone Sports Grill. Ralph, Jessica, Missy, Shaky, everybody out there, drink specials, live bands, a lot of Friday and Saturday nights. Had one this past weekend, totally rocked out. But if you ever get a chance to get out to Graysville, Alabama, End Zone Sports Grill is located right across 78 Highway from McDonald's in the little shopping area right there on the corner, and I guarantee you will have a good time.
Facebook? Are you doing Twitter yet?
No. I don't have the time.
There you go. Mark Bowman, shameless plugs.
Well, first of all, you know where to find me out in the different social networks, Twitter, Facebook. You know that stuff. You go back and listen to the archives. Bob's Comics. I wish he would have been represented at the comic show yesterday, but Bob is actually, I think he was just out of town, but he's a shrewd and insane businessman, but I love him to death. Go, get your comics from there. Screw everybody else in the Birmingham area. Go to Bob's Comics. Also, Eyewitness Store. You know what they sell. You know what they do. Check them out on Facebook. Eddie, I'm talking to somebody else. We'll discuss off air. But a new person, a very good friend of mine, who also someone who I owe a fair amount to. Sometimes I question why I listen to him at this point, but it's a good friend of mine named Eric Fladstall. He has a company out of the Tuscaloosa area, and actually, what's that city right outside of Tuscaloosa?
Northport.
Yes, Northport. I believe it's actually in Northport. Called Creative Concepts and Designs. They design T-shirts, and they also design. One of the people they design T-shirts for is good friends of the show, Eddie. They do design for Strike Hard.
Nice.
So, I mean, we've had Strike Hard on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they design T-shirts. So, go on Facebook. I'm not sure if they have a website, but I'm sure they're working on it. But they do. They design. They are a printing T-shirt. Creative Concepts and Design. They print T-shirts. You see where I'm going with this, Eddie?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then. But hopefully, we can have them. I'm gonna have them send over some graphics, and maybe we can start putting them up on Shameless Plugs. A little tit for tat, other things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
So, but definitely check out Creative Concepts and Designs out of Northport, Alabama. Check them out, and also a huge thank you to Bev Nerd. You know where he's at on Twitter. You know where he's at on Facebook. You know where he's at on the web. Jason and the guys over there, they were kind enough to have me as their guest at the Phoenix Festival comic book sci-fi nerd convention yesterday here in Birmingham. So big thank you to them. Check them out. That's pretty much all I got.
Okie doke. And once again, congratulations to Jason. He and his significant better, brand new parents. So congratulations once again. Our very best, our thoughts and prayers go out to both of y'all and the Munchkin as well. Wicked Nemesis, shameless plugs.
Oh boy. Whew.
We got 5 minutes, and I want 2 of them.
NWA Pro South this Friday night, Piedmont, Alabama. Last week, the judge beat the Butcher Bobby Hayes, former WCW star, and you can chalk him up just like you could with Extreme Heat. The outlaw Shawn Michaels, I guess, is what he wants to be. Chalk it up to Joey Sartain, the spineless Marine, the crazy Marine, the idiot Marine. Chalk it up to Caden Christopher, the nobody. Chalk it up to Jed Johnson, the nobody. Curry Kid, everybody that has went and stood in the way of the judge has faced judgment, and it has passed. And we are still standing. And then this Saturday night, PWA Peach State Wrestling Alliance, Carrollton, Georgia, the MOD, the Merchants of Death, with the queen of the MOD facing Aisha Sunshine, and with the queen of the MOD being in our corner, calm like a bomb Pandora. We will win the war games. And Shane Owens can take his time off. The Ultimate Dragon can go back to West Africa where he's from. The exotic ones, they can go back to whatever nightclub that they go and they hang out at night in Atlanta in San Francisco, in Hong Kong, in Thailand.
You got a minute.
In Bangkok. You go. Come witness the end of Mike Jackson, the MOD, against whatever the hell they're calling themselves. Team Goo Goo Nuts. Goo Goo Nuts. That's what I want you guys to chant whenever they come out. And you can locate me at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter. I'm on VO, Daily Motion, YouTube, Blogger, Blogspot, FunnyOrDie.com. And this Wednesday, to be determined, radio is at 9 Central Standard Time on PW 24/7 Radio, Pro Wrestling Radio Evolve.
And Joey Image, if you send me the T-shirt, I will wear that T-shirt on your birthday on June 2nd. Since our next show is going to be next Sunday night. Good friend of the show, and especially over on PW 24/7 Radio, Joey Image. Happy birthday, brother. June 2nd's his big day. Daryl B., thank you for popping in the chat room tonight. CJ Awesome was in there earlier this evening. Letter ustream.tv/channel/beyond-ringside-live. For all of our friends out there, please remember facebook.com/beyond-ringside-live. Also on Twitter, @beyond-ringside. Short version, let's crank it up. In just about 1 hour and 2 minutes from now, I will be hosting Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio. Ted Guinness, O'Hagan, and myself in random order. God only knows. Coming hot off the heels of Global Warfare, and the aftermath is set for Saturday, June 9th in Jasper. Tomorrow night and Tuesday night, I will be back with the Birmingham Barons. I'll be back up in the press box doing the PA system. The best family entertainment dollar throughout the week can be spent with the Birmingham Barons. Great AA Southern League baseball action. The Barons have been tearing it up this year. The record may not exactly show it right now, but I will tell you something. The Barons have been playing some damn good baseball, and as always, I am very proud, win, lose, or draw. A rain delay and doubleheader the next day. I'm always very proud to be a part of the Barons organization. Thank you for putting up with me. Wednesday, back at Papasaya's in Helena, 8 p.m. start. Buffalo Wild Wings in Hoover on Thursday, 9 p.m. start, depending on the NBA Finals or Conference Finals. And Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster Friday night, 10 p.m. start. Saturday night, June 2nd, we're hitting the road. We're going to Carrollton, Georgia for the Peach State Wrestling Alliance. Let me see. I'm hoping I got everything. Because I know we're pressed for time. We're right at the top of the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and hit this little button over here. Shane Knowles. Always a pleasure to have you on Beyond Ringside. We're looking forward to Saturday, June the 2nd. I'm damn sure ready for it. To everybody who came out last night to Pell City, Global Warfare, that's why I don't have a voice left. And I will say it like this. I had the time of my life calling the action last night. I was in wrestling heaven for about 3.5 hours. 8 matches. The show started, and I just completely lost track of time. And I'm behind the microphone the entire time. So you know, in that perspective, for me being in this industry as long as I have, to have that kind of a night, you know it was fun. To Ted Guinness, my tag team partner behind the microphone on GCW television, brother, it was a pleasure to call the action with you. Thank you. Folks, like I said, 1 hour right at 1 hour. GCW
Hold
Radio.
on, Eddie.
Yes.
Before you send signs off, I want to tell a joke.
Hurry.
Okay, real quick. Guy walks into a bar holding on to a monkey really tight. Goes up to the bartender. Bartender goes, "Why are you holding on to that monkey so tight?" He said, "If I let go of the monkey's going to start eating everything." Bartender's like, "Don't worry about it. Just let him loose." So the guy lets the monkey loose. The monkey runs over there, starts picking all the cherries out of the drink. Runs over, finds a bowl of grapes. Starts, just shoving all the grapes in his mouth. Finds a bowl of peanuts. Shoves all the peanuts in his mouth. Runs over to the pool table. Jumps on the pool table. Grabs a cue ball. Throws it in his mouth. Swallows it down. A week later, same guy comes back in, holding on to the monkey real tight. Guy says, "I told you, hey, it's my bar. You don't have to worry about it. Why are you holding on to the monkey so tight?" He's like, "I'm telling you, he'll eat everything." Guy goes, "Don't worry about it. Just let him loose." Guy lets the monkey loose. Monkey goes over, grabs a drink, pulls a cherry out, sticks it in his butt, puts it in his mouth, eats it. Guy's over to the bowl of grapes. Takes the grape, puts it in his butt, sticks it in his mouth, eats it. Goes to the bowl of peanuts. Takes peanuts, sticks it in his butt, pops it in his mouth, eats it. Bartender goes, "That's disgusting. Why is he doing that?" He goes, "Oh, well, he tests everything out now before he eats it."
Da-doom-doom. Shh. Andy Hudson had to leave. Andy, always a pleasure. For the entire cast and crew, Beyond Ringside. For Mark Mabo Bowman.
Husky Harris, I'm coming to meet you next Sunday.
For the Oracle of Ominous, Pro Wrestling Manager Wicked Nemesis.
And Architect of Intellect, don't forget that. Wrestling with Pop Culture tomorrow night, 7 Central Standard Time. Be there. I've got something for Shane Knowles. We'll interview Booyah.
This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane. And if you need an announcer who's going to give a damn about his job, that would be me. Let's talk. Adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abbassino, au revoir. And until we meet again, aloha means bye-bye, and we'll see you next time on Beyond Ringside.
June 2nd, June 2nd, June 2nd, June 2nd,
June 2nd, June 2nd,
June 2nd, June 2nd.
If you're gonna be skinny and dress up as Spider-Man, and you know that you've got like a Pringle can for a wiener, tuck it back. The people at the dealers' tables do not want your piece on their vintage Action Comics or their Detective Comics or anything like that. It's disrespect.
Nerds!
Come on! Nerds, yes. God, I missed that movie too. Easter eggs done, we're out, bye-bye. Joey Image, I want that shirt.